Well, we see glimpses of it. Family treachery looks like jealousy, anger, fear, and even violence that can come into a family. It can be a biological family, or it can be a spiritual family. Family treachery made Saul act out in violence. Family treachery, to some extent, blinded David and put him into denial. This giant is sneaky. And that's what makes this giant so dangerous. Now, this is where I've often said, no one can hurt you like family, but no one can heal you like family too. This giant still wreaks havoc in families and churches all over the world. This is a giant that God never, ever intends us to face alone because we simply can't. Now, David's beloved friend Jonathan has become his brother-in-law, his battle buddy, as it were, to fight against family treachery. This is where we begin our feature presentation in chapter 19. I'm going to be reading verses 1 through 8. Please feel free to follow along. Saul told his son Jonathan and all the attendants to kill David. But Jonathan was very fond of David and warned him, "My father Saul is looking for a chance to kill you. Be on your guard tomorrow morning. Go into hiding and stay there. I will go out and stand with my father in the field where you are. I'll speak to him about you and will tell you what I find out." Jonathan spoke well of David to Saul, his father, and said to him, "Let not the king do wrong to his servant David. He has not wronged you. And what has he done? What he has done has benefited you greatly. He took his life in his hands when he killed the Philistine. The Lord won a great victory for all Israel, and you saw it and were glad. Why then would you do wrong to an innocent man like David by killing him for no reason?" Saul listened to Jonathan and took his oath, and took this oath, "As surely as the Lord lives, David will not be put to death." So Jonathan called David and told him the whole conversation. He brought him to Saul, and David was with Saul as before. Once more, war broke out, and David went out and fought the Philistines. He struck them with such force, they fled before him. Fill in blank number 1, under chapter 19. Loyalty lives. Loyalty lives. Underneath that, you'll see an application statement. Friends try to promote peace. Friends try to promote peace. Jonathan brings peace, and we'll see in the weeks to come, he tries to balance his loyalty to his father and his friends. I believe there is a strong faith that undergirds Jonathan and allows him to make crucial decisions about who to follow and how to follow God's will. Application. Is there a friend or a family member that you need to promote some peace with this morning? Is there someone that has a distorted view of reality that you will be able to step in and bring truth to? Maybe to bring a reality check to, so that the conflict is resolved simply by sharing the truth in love? Now, unfortunately, we'll find in our next text that making peace with the giant family treachery doesn't always work. And sometimes it's just temporary. And here we find Saul's anger breaking loose in verses 9 and 10. An evil spirit from the Lord came upon Saul as he was sitting in his house with his spear in his hand. While David was playing the harp, Saul tried to pin him to the wall with his spear. But David eluded him as Saul drove the spear into the wall. That night, David made good his escape. Fill in blank number 2, Saul snaps. Saul snaps. And underneath that, friends don't kill friends. Friends don't kill friends. Now, I want to resolve one thing right up front. In your text it says, a spirit came from the Lord. An evil spirit came from the Lord. This is an Old Testament book written in a Jewish frame of mind. In other words, to the Jew, everything that happens is under God's control. The devil gets credit for nothing, or very little, in most of the Old Testament. The Jewish view is that God is in complete control of everything. Now, with that said, the point is, if you let jealousy and fear and anger manifest itself in you, you are opening yourself up to all kinds of spiritual things that will indeed get very ugly. Now, this again is just an instant replay of chapter 18, verses 10 and 11. We even have Saul trying to hit David with a spear a whole chapter ago. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was how deep the spear sunk into the wall this time that David just realized, oh, I don't think Saul's my friend. Saul's trying to kill me. Saul snapped, and it made David jump out of his denial. Suddenly, I believe, David realizes there's another giant after me. Application. Is there a wake-up call that you have received recently? Have you sidestepped a spear that was chucked at you? Was God trying to get your attention by something that's happened recently in your life? So that you can realize, wow, there may be a giant raging in my life. Friend, if you have gotten a wake-up call, please hear it. Please respond to it. Dave does. And here's what happens in verses 11 through 17.